Thank you all for coming here today to, in some sense, see the conclusion of this rather unfortunate incident. My name is Ted Smith. I'm the founder of the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada, a group that for 14 years has been providing cannabis products to people in Victoria that have been diagnosed with a permanent physical disability or disease. We now have 3,000 members that come to our store on Johnson Street. We've been through 4 police raids in our store with no charges ever, even to this date, sticking. I last brought you here on December the 3rd, December the 4th, the day after the police raid of December the 3rd, where our bakery was, I guess, entered by the police, and at the time we were reluctant or hesitant to reveal the identity of my friend who was arrested, but it appears as though there wasn't a great concern to do that in some sense. And so today my friend Owen Smith has come with me to discuss what happened at the raid and the fact that it appears as though there will not be a trial, because yesterday we went to court and there were no proceedings in the docket, and while charges could get laid after the fact, indications from the police and the Crown show us that the real point was to get us out of the apartment building we were in, and that they're not really interested in coming after our club or proceeding with the trial in this instance. And so maybe I could let Owen just speak a little bit about what happened that day and any other questions that you might have for him.
I was playing the music loud that day, as I usually do, being a DJ in the community. I was making the cookies at the very time that they showed up, and the smell was in the hallway, so you already know. The police were really kind, sympathetic to the cause. They didn't really know what to think. There's no license for this sort of thing, and that's where we need to step up with City Council and get some exemption for our bakery, have a commercial space, and so that we can not have these problems in the future and not waste any police time, taxpayer money.
Oh, and up until the raid, how comfortable were your neighbors, or did you have an impression of how people felt about what was going on there?
We've tried to stay fairly discreet. The noise was the only one. Quite thin walls in the building, and that's not going to happen.
What went through your mind though when the police came through that door? Were you feeling really abandoned, or how were you feeling?
I didn't at all feel worried about it. Didn't seem like I was going to get in any trouble. I didn't feel like I was doing anything criminal. I never have felt like that since I've worked here. Making cookies for people who really need them, and every day seeing people in the community who use them, I'm thankful. I don't feel like it would be in the community's interests to proceed with any charges against me here. It just seems like it's catch-up for the government. So we're trying to help people.
Sorry, I came in late, but can you tell me again, are there charges pending, or what is the current, I guess, legal situation?
We went to court yesterday to serve for the promise to appear, and there were no charges there for us. We weren't on the docket. I wasn't on the docket, and so he said that stamp it. I've done everything that I can, and I just wait for them to, if they do decide to proceed. Perhaps they're waiting for evidence, testing on the vegetable oils, but it doesn't seem like they'd want to. And like I said, from my experience with the police, they seem quite sympathetic and understanding, if not just a little uneducated about it.
Ted, we could ask you a couple of questions. Just okay, the promise to appear that's been you've led your legal obligations. Has the Crown Police or anybody been in touch with you or the club about this issue?
We have no formal indications that the charges have been dropped. They're very reluctant to do that for a few reasons. In some cases, as Owen suggested, they are waiting for laboratory results, something from the Department of Justice, and then we'll proceed later. On the other hand, sometimes, and in particular with Owen, who's got no criminal record at all, and even if he was convicted here, the punishment that any judge would give him would probably be more of an accommodation than any jail time or any significant real punishment. And so the police would almost be under the hope that in some cases that a person would be found doing some other criminal crime or repeat offender, and then they would proceed with multiple cases and hope to push for a guilty plea through that. So it's sort of like having a fish on the line. They're not going to take you off the line. They don't have to. But at the same time, it doesn't look like it's a big enough fish to bother pulling it from the boat. All that has to go with that. So I doubt will ever indicate that the charges have been dropped or the file is dropped. And if we called them, they wouldn't tell us it was or it wasn't, I doubt. But from everything that we've heard informally through the lawyers in the courthouse and the Crown prosecutor and the firm that has dealt with me in cookie trials and stuff in the past, and I've been through a few cases where I've gotten a significant amount of attention brought to the cases, and we've won every single time. So it really doesn't serve the public interest. Likelihood of conviction is small, and really it's not likely that they'll proceed based on those two facts alone.
I know when it happened, you brought to the attention the fact that it under Health Canada regulations, I'm not sure if it's criminal code or just regulations, but you cannot turn marijuana into another product, and you felt that was a law that they didn't want to test. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, well, this comes further to the police raids I discussed. One of the trials, actually the charges of selling cannabis marijuana were dropped entirely, and they proceeded to convict me actually of selling cannabis resin in the food and skin products. So I appealed that